My name is Chelsea, and I'm a payroll specialist with an HR background. I've worked for several types of companies, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and right now I'm working a corporate job in the payroll department. I worked for a small landscaping company. It was my first job out of college. I was hired to be a payroll specialist and work alongside the HR manager. It was the year that Obamacare came out, and we were getting ready to put in place our new insurance policy. And the rates hadn't been risen for the past couple of years because the company was paying larger portions of the premiums. But with the rise of cost of healthcare during that time, they lowered the percentage that they were contributing, and thus the rates for the employees went up significantly. And with the new rules with Obamacare, there was quite a bit of confusion. None of us were fully understanding the scope of Obamacare and all the laws that were going to be put in place with it. There was a lot of speculation, and we greatly relied on our third-party insurance broker to inform us on how to roll this out and how to answer questions to employees. I think he even gave us like an instructional thing with common questions pertaining to Obamacare and how those rates would be affecting people. How it was rolled out was not handled properly. The HR manager basically sent out a memo and kind of disappeared and left it up to me and the new girl who was doing payroll at the time, and I was doing more HR heavy stuff, assisting the HR manager. So a situation that came up was an employee had opted out of the open enrollment period of our insurance, and then a few months later became pregnant and asked us to retroactively put her back on, and we weren't sure if we were allowed to because, our policy was that you can't add somebody on after they've missed open enrollment. They have to have a life-changing event. We interpreted that as you have to have had the baby. So after pregnancy, which turns out was incorrect. Once a woman becomes pregnant, that's a life-changing event, and she can then be added to the insurance. So we were misinformed about that. We had asked our broker, and he insisted, do not put her on because this is going to set a pretense for, a precedent for future employees that want to be retroactively added back on. And we were really feeling for this girl, like she's a single mom and now she's pregnant, and how is she going to cover her health care? So we did eventually get her added back on, but first she had gone above our heads and went to the vice president and told him her situation, and he insisted we add her. So it kind of looked poorly on the HR department because we were not informed. Reading up on it and getting ourselves on the same page with the new laws that were going to be in place, and maybe breaking those down and giving some fact sheets out to the employees once enrollment happened so that they could make an informed decision on whether they wanted to get the employer insurance or try to get it through the marketplace. It was a learning moment for the HR department, knowing that a pregnancy does count as a life-changing event. So in the future, if somebody gets pregnant and wants to be added onto the insurance, we can say, yeah, no problem. It's all a learning experience. HR is affected by so many aspects. You've got to care about the employees, you've got to worry about protecting the employer, and also following federal guidelines. And oftentimes those federal guidelines will change, and you have to adapt. So it's a big learning curve sometimes, but it's a lot of fun and challenging and often rewarding.